everyone. Of course you know what day it is. I don't think this needs an introduction anymore. None other than Full Scale Friday, so why don't we get right down to it, because I am running way behind today. So, big plans for the weekend? I've got big plans for the weekend. They were made for me last week. I'm working. Really, I'm only working tomorrow. And then everything else is going to be my weekend, so let's see what else we got here. Oh, yes. Something, I don't know if I've shared this yet, because it's too early and I don't have that first cup of tea in me. I'm going to put a link in the description below. I want you all to go check it out. It's called heathensoulord.net, if I'm not mistaken. Wow, something happened there. Dinged up. Oh, it looks like this card got a little water damage on the corner there. But anyway, heathensoulord.net, because you can read those bits of research, I should say. You can read them there, or, and this happened in October and I didn't know about it till just recently. You can go and order the book, because all of those bits of research have been compiled into one book now. And the book, of course, does contain illustrations. You can get the book in black and white, which is what I did. I got mine in hardcover. You can get it in PDF, which is the electronic version. Again, in color or black and white. And really check it out. Personally, I can't wait for my copy to come in. I've got a mountain of books under which I'm buried right now, but I'm probably going to make room for reading that one. The only thing I'm not looking forward to with this book is trying to find room on my shelf, because I don't have any more room. In fact, let me show you. I'll show you this book. I've been trying to get... I actually owned a book by this author once. It was just some collected stories. It wasn't all of them. And now I own all of the collected works. All the complete fiction right here. I mean, trying to make room for this one was a real chore, let me tell you. But I do love the work that Lovecraft put together. It was something else. Let me tell you, if you've never read H.P. Lovecraft's work, I do recommend it. He had a habit of really building the dread, you know. But anyway, for this weekend, Fifth Geared. Now this is you, of course. This is you being the mediator, being the one who makes peace rather than diametrically opposing others. And then you're being guided by something much larger. And so far it's a good weekend for that. And I'm going to tell you right now, if that dove spirit pops up, I'm really going to lose it. Let's see what we got. Oh, we don't. We don't have a dove spirit. We have the mouse. So pay attention to detail. If it seems like I'm going through this a little fast, it is because that's what's occurring. So we're being asked to see the bigger picture, but don't neglect the smaller things. This is how you're creating peace this weekend. So going here, we have in the mind, we have a 7 of Cups, we have a 4 of Swords, and we have the Lovers. So contemplating all those little details, there's going to be a lot of difficult choices to make. Some are going to be very, very obvious that you shouldn't choose them, and others are going to be not quite as obvious. Everything will have pros and cons. The thing that you're being told to do is kind of sleep on it. You know, take a little bit of a rest, take a breather. Because what ends up happening is going to be a very, very close partnership that you develop. And this is where you want to go with that Lovers card. Now right here in the physical, we got me throwing cards everywhere. We have an Ace of Swords. We have a 9 of Swords. And we have a 3 of Coins. And Ace of Swords, that is clarity. That's clarity of vision. That's you knowing exactly what you need to do. And believe one thing, whenever you have that Ace of Swords come up, you will have your breakthrough here. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Dagaz rune come up today. But you will be piercing the fog of confusion. But then you move into that 9 of Swords. And this is something that's going to be like, in the physical realm, you will have this clarity of thought. Seems like the mind is kind of invading the physical today. But there's something here keeping you up at night. And this is going to be kind of upsetting and disturbing you. However, we're moving right back into collaboration. And it seems as though you're being urged to get rest, but you're also going to be kept up. But every time we go from here, we go into here into this partnership and collaboration phase. And in the spiritual, we've got a 4 of Coins here. Got a King of Cups. And we have a 4 of Cups. That 4 of Coins, it looks to me like you're holding on to something a little too tightly. And probably be a good... I mean, you got everything you need in terms of the spiritual, but you're being tight with your resources. But when you move into that King of Cups, it's much different, because this is where you're actually being called upon to be an empathetic partner. So there's that partnership again. And then we move right into that 4 of Cups spiritually. And you're asking for help, but you're rejecting offers. You will have a fresh opportunity arrive just kind of out of the blue, though. But why feign interest in something that you're not really interested in? See, with this card, there's a lot of apathy here. And this being your potential outcome, it looks like you're giving away more than you're giving back to yourself. And you're kind of faking interest. This is like, I don't know, this is like a part of you that wants to stir up a little drama. And I find it interesting that your present actions spiritually cause you to be an empathetic partner. Cause you to be a kind and compassionate leader. So, if you're there to make peace, your spirit seems to be out of alignment with the rest of you. In fact, even the physical seems to be a little out of alignment. So maybe, just maybe, the mind seems to be okay, but your physical and spiritual seem to be a little out of balance here. I can definitely see a little bit of Capricorn energy in there, because typically Capricorns, they tend to focus on the physical. They're very focused on what is real, what is tangible, what is grounded, and many of them have trouble accepting the supernatural as part of the natural. But nature and supernature tend to overlap, and they do it a lot. So, let's get with the program on this. This is, all paths lead home. Here we go. We're being told to turn our gaze inward this time. So this is that meditation. You need to trust your intuition a little more. And then, here we go, the Cosmic Heart. Popping up in your physical. And this is that devotion. It says, make life a moving prayer. This is one of my favorite cards for a reason. If I can stop dropping cards today or throwing them this way and that. Okay. Now, here's the thing to remember. This card suddenly made this entire reading a lot more clear to me. You are not for everyone. And it says, embrace your weirdness. Face your true north. We've had a few moments where we were talking about facing true north this week. In some cases, you were helping others find their true north. But how do you find yours, or how do you help others find theirs if you don't know what yours is? Ladies and gentlemen, let's face it, I'm not for everybody. Personally, I like a balance. I do not in any way like to be told, and will defy this every time, you will listen to this alone, and you will go no further. I'm going to check out what these people have to say. Case in point, and this is a real life example, and believe one thing, I've suffered consequences for this, but I've earned every step of it. Back when I was younger, I was told during my catechism teachings I was not permitted to play Dungeons and Dragons. I would not be listening to metal, nor would I be dressing a certain way. And then I spent, and you know what, I'm going to say this, they spent many years hammering home I'll be honest with you, let's just take Dungeons and Dragons and make an even shorter story. If they hadn't stirred up such controversy, I just thought Dungeons and Dragons was a cartoon. I didn't even know it was a game. Then again, I was a little kid. But anyway, I failed to see, because I'd seen so many movies like The Dragon Slayer and Conan the Barbarian, a lot of these sword and sorcery type movies. I failed to see where playing a warrior trying to defeat evil was such an evil thing. I really failed to see that. Or Or maybe being a wizard like Merlin was such a terrible thing. I didn't understand that. So, the people that I put my trust in to have good information to give me instead engaged in scare tactics and fear-mongering and would not hear anything else and told us, you will not hear anything else. Then one summer I actually played Dungeons and Dragons, and I spent some time trying to get over my fear of it because I was in a lot of fear of it. But I got over that and I played it. I rolled a character, I had a lot of fun, and I was like, where's the problem? When catechism classes resumed, I proceeded to call out the bullshit. And boy, that did not go well. That did not go well at all. So in short, when someone like me is being told, this is what you will accept as fact, I'm like, well, will I? Because let's face it, social ostracism, been there, done that. Destruction of your reputation, been there, done that. I'm gonna hear out both sides, and I will make my decisions accordingly. That's my weirdness. I can't believe something like that is considered weird today, but it is. And how I've made peace with it is simply this. I will do what I will do. You do you. And where we can't agree, we'll just leave each other alone. I'll leave you alone, you leave me alone. But leave me alone. Because that's the only acceptable way of it. See what I mean? And there are people who can't do that. And that's why I love things like malicious compliance. I will make you regret not leaving me alone, one way or the other. I would hope that you would do the same. Anyway. I mean, look. Come hang out with me on Clouthub sometimes. You will see I still catch that exact kind of thing over this. Letting you know. You really want some entertaining reads, you'll see it. So Thurasaz, you're going to have some conflict and challenges. That points right there at that 7 of Cups. Gabo. Now, remember when I say this all the time, the universe does have your back. The gods have your back. Whatever it is you believe, it has your back. Don't ignore your gifts. Don't do it. It's just not worth it. And finally, Othala. You still need to look to your ancestors. Listen, that book by Malcolm Gladwell called Outliers is an excellent book. And here lately, he's spoken to ancestral qualities. In fact, there was a study done that most Southerners, such as myself, if you research their family ancestry, they do come from backgrounds of honor, which means we don't take insults lying down. And some of us are just cosmopolitan enough to, visit other places, but we have a strict code of honor. You won't be issuing threats to us without consequence. You won't be issuing those kinds of things, and it's been that way for hundreds of years. We're not talking just a couple hundred years, we're talking more than that. It's been that way for a reason. And I suggest you look into it, because it would do you some good. So in any case, this weekend, like I said, our ancestors didn't do everything right. But rather than look on just the surface of what they did, look at why they did it. For some of our ancestors, they couldn't grow anything. They weren't cultivating crops. They were actually, raising animals. Those animals were their livelihoods. And if you kill or stole one, you were interfering with their livelihoods. You were interfering with their families. And it caused serious consequences and repercussions. So while feuds like the Hatfields and the McCoys and many others, because there were others, were there, and whether we agree with them or not, you have to look at the causes as to what caused it. You don't attack the deed so much as you attack the cause. When you attack the cause, the deed tends to follow suit. And the best thing to do would be to leave a shepherd to his flock. I think I'm starting to understand why some of those Christians get a little angry that I'm doing this. Anyway, but if we're going to make peace at all, we have to make peace with ourselves first, and I think that's what this is calling us to do. You have to make peace with yourself, and then you can begin partnering and collaborating with others, making something meaningful. But there is minutia to it. And you gotta look back in order to learn from the mistakes of the past, rather than trying to write them out, because that will not work. They exist whether you like them or not. In any case, thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. Always do what lights you up. Check out heathensoullore.net as well. And as always, shine on.